The Cast Compass Podcast, hosted by Michelle and Lisa Cast. Welcome to the Cast Compass Podcast. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa. And we're a couple of moms, and your hosts on this wild, beautiful ride called life.
We're here to help you navigate your next phase, whether that's family building, career shifts, personal growth, or rewriting the story of what your life should look like.
Our path hasn't been traditional. IVF, job losses, parenting through chaos, starting over in our 40s. But we've learned how to trust our gut and follow our compass, even when it's scary.
Each week we'll bring real talk, a little astrology, a lot of heart, and stories that make you feel seen.
So if you're craving connection, clarity, and maybe a cocktail along the way, welcome home. Welcome to the Cast Compass Podcast. We're Michelle and Lisa, partners in life, moms to our 3-year-old son, Leo.
And guides for anyone navigating their next big chapter. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa.
And this is episode 11.
The Astrology of Conception, aligning with divine timing.
When it comes to conception, science matters, of course, but so does timing, intention, and trust.
Today, we're diving into how astrology can help you feel more connected and empowered on your TTC journey. That's trying to conceive, for those who don't know the
you
acronym.
Asked for this. You said we should do an astrology episode every month.
This is a great idea because it just cracks me up, right? If you know Michelle, you know that she's always calculating in her head when a transfer could happen to have the child of the zodiac sign of her choice.
I'm kind of over that, though.
Yeah, because the world gave us Leo.
One of the greatest gifts.
The unexpected Pisces.
Yes.
And he is the greatest gift. So, but again, divine timing.
The world gave us Leo as a Pisces because that's what it was meant to be. We know how overwhelming this path can feel. Sometimes it seems like everyone else is getting pregnant overnight while you're waiting and wondering. And astrology isn't here to give you guarantees, but it can offer perspective, validation, and a sense of alignment when so much feels out of your control.
So we'll walk you through, or Michelle will walk you through the transits that we're watching right now, how your natal chart can illuminate your fertility story, and some of the rituals we're using ourselves to feel more grounded in this process.
Whether you're actively trying to conceive, considering it down the line, or just curious about how cosmic timing intersects with fertility, this episode is for you.
So much is happening right now.
I know, a lot is happening right now. So let's start by looking at what's happening in the sky this season and why it might feel like everything is both accelerating and falling apart at the same time.
Ooh.
Not so much for us.
No.
But people might be feeling that way. If you don't follow the world of astrology, you might not know some of this. You might have heard a little bit of it. I'm sure when I mentioned the word retrograde, everyone knows about Mercury retrograde. But there's so much more to it, right? So the planet Uranus, which is an outer planet, has just entered Gemini. So the outer planets, they transit for a very long time. So with Uranus entering Gemini, we're looking at big breakthroughs, unexpected pivots in how we communicate, learn, and connect. As I said, this is a slower transit. Uranus will be in Gemini until 2033, with one short retrograde back into Taurus at the end of 2025 and into 2026. But then it will go back into Gemini and be there for a very long time.
Yeah, so Uranus just left Taurus.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a Taurus sun sign. So it was supposed to be some fantastic thing for me, for Uranus to leave Taurus. Like, finally, 7 or 8 years of absolute chaos is over for you, Taurus. And now it's moving into Gemini.
Tell us, Lisa.
Well, if you're Gemini rising and a Gemini moon, the chaos will continue. But it's a little different.
It is a little different in Gemini.
So I've heard. It's going to be a little different because Gemini is a little more spunky.
Here we go. This is why I love doing these with you, because I love your little inputs. Yeah.
Yes.
So Venus is in Gemini right now. So this is conversations, because Gemini is a communicator about love, values, and self-worth that feel more fluid and sometimes more scattered. This is a shorter transit, though. It's only for the month of July. And so by the time this airs, actually, Venus will be in Cancer. So I thought it was important, though, to mention, because we're recording this now. We're talking about our fertility journey now. Right. So by the time, though, we do get to August, Venus will be in Cancer, which will usher in a period where emotions and relationships take center stage, becoming more deeply felt and intertwined with themes of family and security. As I mentioned, the outer planets are long transits. The inner planets, like Venus, are shorter transits. In addition, Jupiter is in Cancer. That, again, is a longer transit because Jupiter is an outer planet. This is looking at expansion around home, family, and emotional security. This is perfect symbolism for conception, nesting, and building foundations. Again, another slow transit until next June of 2026. If you haven't noticed by now, Cancer, right, is going to be all about home. So if you're hearing that something is transiting Cancer, it's going to bring you to your family, your relationships, trying to conceive, right? All of these things are kind of center stage right now. In addition, the sun in Cancer right now is moving into Leo in August, or the end of July, actually. And we're shifting from deep emotional focus to a more creative and expressive energy. Hashtag Leo season.
Love it.
Lisa, do you want to try to explain this next part?
Sure. The Mercury about to retrograde in Leo.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. So Mercury is going to retrograde. You know, we all love that.
Yeah,
in the sign of Leo. And that means it's time to rethink how we express ourselves, especially around identity, passion, and purpose. Mercury will be retrograde until August 11th, which isn't too bad.
No, not too bad at all.
Right before your birthday, it'll be ready to go.
Ready to
all
go.
All done.
Yeah.
All done retrograding.
And the sun, Mercury, right? Those are inner planets again. So faster transits. Yeah. Mars and Virgo.
Mars and Virgo. Action and motivation are detail oriented, practical, sometimes hypercritical.
It's Virgo.
That was my pause. Hypercritical. Great for refining plans, but watch the perfectionism. Don't get caught up. It'll move into Libra in August, which will be all about relationships, harmony, and balance.
And if you haven't caught on, Mars is another inner planet. So that's another fast transit.
Okay. Saturn retrograde in Aries. That'll be about revisiting lessons about courage, independence, and self-leadership. It'll dip into Pisces briefly, but then back into Aries until 2028.
We did a whole Saturn episode.
Yeah. Saturn, big planet, outer planet,
Yep.
long transit.
That's right.
Chiron in Aries.
So Chiron is an asteroid, and that's our wounded healer.
So this asteroid's just like floating around in space for like till the end of time?
I guess. We all have a Chiron in the sign.
All right,
Ours
then.
is in Taurus.
Wow.
Wounds about money, stability, and security.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Very interesting.
But it's currently in Aries.
Okay. So am I?
Yeah, go for it.
So collective and personal healing around worthiness and feeling safe to take up space. And that'll be happening until mid-2026. Love that.
We've got a couple more just to note, just to kind of paint this picture of what's happening in the sky. So Neptune, another outer planet, is also now currently retrograde in Aries. And this is about dissolving illusions around our personal power and what it means to lead. And this will be in Aries until 2039.
Woo.
Super long time.
Ooh, so what is it? Dissolving illusions around our personal power.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a good thing to be in that spot.
Yeah.
Until 2039.
So last but not least, the North Node is in Pisces and the South Node is in Virgo. And these are themes of surrender, faith, and letting go of overanalysis. And this lasts until July of 2026. Remember, it was like 18 months of the nodes having shifted into Pisces and Virgo.
Cool. So when you look at all of this together, it's basically, are you ready to trust your instincts and do the work? Because the combo is a mix of feeling everything deeply while also being asked to ground it in reality. And remember, just because the skies are busy doesn't mean that you have to be. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing, right? And just trust that you're exactly where you're meant to be.
We talk about this a lot, like when we do and we'll talk more later in the episode, but like when we do our manifesting and our full moon and new moon rituals, like sometimes we're just tired and we're just like, we can't get too caught up in this right now. And it's okay to just let things be.
Yeah.
And understand that there might be a message and you'll hear it when you're ready to.
Right. 100%. It's hard to sometimes do that. To kind of just like pause.
Yeah.
And say, it's okay. So the connection to the conception energy, Jupiter in Cancer can be beautiful and a supportive transit for fertility, right? Like Michelle said, it's all about home. Cancer rules the womb, family, and emotional nourishment. Mars and Virgo can help you focus on the details, right? So getting your supplements together, figuring out your timing, the protocols, but watch for any anxiety or hyperfixation, because that's actually a really big thing when it comes to having your body be in the right shape. A lot of it, yes, of course, is medication and supplements, but your body being at peace will only help produce like really good eggs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the Saturn and Chiron in Aries, that invites you to examine old stories about your identity, right? So maybe there's these other things holding you back that you're not totally aware of, but being more aware of this could help, right? Like whether you believe you're meant to be a parent. Like I've been through IVF, a lot of IVF cycles. You start to question yourself, or deserving of receiving the support.
We had Carolina, actually, who was our sleep coach. She does energy work, right? So she said to Lisa, like, there could be an energy block keeping you from having success in fertility. So, Saturn and Chiron and Aries might invite you to like address that again. Yeah. So let's talk about what to look at in your own chart. If you're curious how astrology can illuminate your fertility journey, really any journey you're on, right? So this month is all about fertility because we're just back in the trenches.
Sure.
But it's so interesting if you look at these placements and if you look at our own charts, right, about our path to becoming parents. And then if you're interested for yourself, always available.
Reach out
for natal chart readings.
Michelle's so good. It's insane.
So you want to look at your fourth house placements. So you can go on a site like AstroSeek or Google Transit Chart Calculator, put in your birth info, where you live, and you'll see in your natal wheel, right, there's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 through 12. And then there's obviously the signs and the planets. And as I've mentioned before, all of the houses are ruled by signs, but all of the houses have meaning. So if you have any of these transits going right now through your fourth house, that's going to be all about home, family roots, and emotional foundation. So for me, my North Node and Venus are both in Cancer in my fourth house, indicating my destiny and love language revolve around home and family, which makes sense, right?
100%.
I mean, like people would see me as a Leo sun with Aries rising and Gemini moon and be like, that bitch cry. But beneath that, right, is like this nurturing, loving, mushy Cancer and Venus. So can't really get around that. Mars and the South Node retrograde are both transiting Lisa's fourth house, which would definitely indicate, right, the focus on the home and family planning. And literally in our 9th episode, Lisa was like, I'm all about like getting the supplements and getting everything in order. So that really was about that retrograde for you. And the South Node can also bring up karmic themes or old patterns related to home. So interesting.
It is really.
Right?
It's pretty wild.
So you also want to look at your fifth house. So the fourth house is ruled by Cancer. We're all about the home and the family roots. The fifth house is ruled by Leo. Not our sun Leo, but the sign Leo. And so this is about children, creativity, joy, and pregnancy. So my sun is in Leo, my sun sign. Which actually starting to
get a little confusing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it sits in my fifth house, which is the most favorable place for the sun in Leo to sit, since Leo rules the fifth house. It is the most natural expression of creative life force, including pregnancy.
Are you keeping up yet?
But even more interesting to me is that Lisa has a fifth house stellium, which we've talked about before, which means that several of her planets are in her fifth house, which is ruled by Leo. So that is her hidden fire. And when she was born, all of those planets, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, you ready for this? I don't think we ever talked about this.
Oh my God.
They were all retrograde.
I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell.
I love when we sing. So when planets are retrograde during your birth and again later in life, it can signify a deeper, more introspective exploration of the themes and areas of life associated with that planet.
Sounds exhausting.
I know. But this period can highlight areas where you may have unfulfilled lessons from a past life, or you need to revisit. I'm sorry, Lisa.
Why have you never talked to me about this?
I don't know.
Why am I just finding this out on camera?
You didn't look at the outline?
No, I did look at the outline, but I knew you were going to be talking about this, so I sort of just skimmed. I was just like, Lisa, blah, 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 Saturn.
You're funny. Oh my gosh. So this might also be a place where you need to revisit and refine your approach.
You think?
Yeah. And so in addition, Uranus, Neptune, North Node, and South Node were also retrograde.
No.
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah. So this indicates a deeply introspective time for your work with these energies.
I got a lot to do.
It's not. We need you to be taking it easy. But it's actually a good thing when a planet goes retrograde that was retrograde at the time of your birth. It's actually like a really good time for you. Like other people might feel retrograde in a negative way. You're going to feel it in a more favorable way.
Got it. Okay.
Do you want to talk to us about the moon?
Sure. The moon. Your body, cycles, and sense of safety is what the moon rules, right? Mm-hmm. Both of our moons are in Gemini. But for Michelle, it's in her second house, which is all about stability. And my moon in Gemini is in my first house, which is what makes me adaptable and flexible because I am a sun sign Taurus and typically my feet are cemented to the ground.
Well, what's funny is that my moon in Gemini in the second house is ruled by Taurus. And your moon in Gemini in the first house is ruled by Aries.
Oh my gosh. So many things.
I know.
So many things.
Venus is all about receptivity, fertility, and self-worth. Venus for me is in Cancer. So again, home, nesting, roots. And for Lisa is in Pisces. So deep connections in love and creative expressions.
Heart eyes.
My little Pisces
Heart
Venus.
Jupiter, growth and where you feel blessed and expanded or transformational. Both of our Jupiters in Scorpio. Michelle's is in the 7th house, which rules relationships and balance. My Jupiter is in my 5th house, which would indicate growth, expansion around children, creativity, joy, and being blessed through pregnancy.
So Saturn is all about lessons and timing, sometimes delays that are ultimately about maturation. Both of our Saturns are in Libra. Mine also in the 7th house, as if you can't tell by now, I have a 7th house stellium. Yeah. Lisa has a 5th house.
777.
That's right. I have my 777 necklace. 7th house ruled by Libra. So all about relationships. But here there's going to be karmic lessons in relationships and balance. For Lisa, Saturn is also in her 5th house. Really, that 5th house is a lot. Woo! And so for Lisa.
Also, my maiden name means 5.
Oh my gosh.
In Italian.
That's wild.
How funny is that?
Right?
Yeah.
So all signs really point to parenting being fated for her. And these transits really being a favorable time. Mm-hmm. Especially with parenting as a maturing journey.
That's cool.
And the delays for you ultimately deepen your wisdom.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Isn't this cool?
I might cry.
Oh, you can. I can give you space for that.
We don't have enough time. Moving on.
So tips to explore. As I mentioned, you can use astro.com to pull your chart. You might want to notice if transiting Jupiter, Venus, or Saturn are moving through your 4th or 5th houses right now. As I mentioned for us. Reflect on whether your moon or Venus are being activated by current transits, especially Jupiter or Saturn.
That's right. So rituals for trying to conceive. So this is where it's less about prediction and more about your intention. And you can work with astrology as a way to feel more connected to your body and your process. So journal prompts that are helpful would be, where am I ready to receive support and possibility? What stories about my body or my worth am I ready to release? So I've been really hard on myself about my body and whether I'm worthy enough to, carry a child. So it would be really good for me to do that. What would it look like to trust my timeline? Yeah.
And you just mentioned those 3 journal prompts, right? That all call back to the transits right now.
Right.
And how they're hitting your retrograde natal planets.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Ritual ideas. So new moon or full moon rituals. We just did a really cool full moon ritual. Really loved it. We did journaling. We did, crystals and candles. It's Very, very cool. Journaling, candle lighting, intention setting. This is huge for us. We try to work with the moon cycles and have seen so much clarity around releasing limiting beliefs at full moons and manifesting our greatest good at the new moons. So full moons are for releasing limiting beliefs and new moons are for manifesting. Visualization practices, right? Seeing your future family, meditating. New moons are a great time to manifest, but really the more you can gently embody what you hope for, right? So like believing it, allowing it to be part of you and not just, writing it down on a piece of paper, but truly believing it, the more naturally those intentions start to take root.
And affirmations, right? My body is capable. My path is unfolding. What you say, what you tell yourself becomes reality. So, those daily affirmations, they help you embody what it is that you're calling into your life. So you don't just say something to the universe and say, I hope to manifest this. Like you really have to live it, feel it, call in joy, really sit in the feeling of what it would be to already have it. Because if you're sitting in a place of fear, anxiety, scarcity, you're going to get more of that. So if you're sitting in a place of joy, abundance, excitement, gratitude, right? Then that's when you really start to see your manifestations take root.
And listen, we know that when we relate this to trying to conceive, everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own struggle. So please, we enter this with like an abundance of sensitivity towards everyone's different experiences. So we know we could, sit here and say, if you're not thinking it and believing it, then it's never going to happen. Like, listen, we've been there. Science is science, and we have been there. But these are some things that we're trying to, incorporate into our new trying to conceive journey. And they can be healing in a whole lot of different ways also, like whatever the outcome is.
It's not just in trying to conceive.
Using those manifestation techniques and to really embody exactly what you want. We've seen it happen, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And just some reminders, like Lisa said, there is no perfect transit that ensures pregnancy. If you have no planets in your 4th and 5th house, it doesn't mean you're never having a child. Literally, I don't think you have any planets in your 4th house.
No.
Astrology can just help you feel more connected, but it can't replace medical guidance or your own intuition if something is unsafe, right? Like this is meant to be like fun and inspiring and just maybe give you an additional North Star, right? Another place to bring your feelings and your hope. Yeah. I mean, it is all about the Cast Compass, right?
Yeah.
And listen, surrender and faith are often the most healing practices of all. So if it's something that brings you some peace, there's no harm in it, but don't be like, Michelle said this transit meant I would have a child. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. So, take it with a grain.
Signs from the universe.
I love this.
A little lighter and more magical, right? Yeah. So I think we've both been experiencing this similarly. So what's kind of funny is that this is episode 11 and angel numbers have really been everywhere for the both of us for a while now. Yeah. Last couple of months, it's been really intense. So angel numbers is a sequence of numbers that you see. Most of the time, people see them like 333, 111, 1111, 777. Sometimes it's a combination of numbers. It could be a combination of numbers. And they, if you believe in this kind of thing, they all have meaning, and the meaning is associated with like your spirit guides or the angels or the universe. So that we've been seeing those very frequently. Yeah. And Leo has also been all about babies lately.
Oh my gosh, cute. So cute. He's been like saying the cutest things like, oh, this baby, or he once or twice said like my little sister.
Yeah.
So, he's a Pisces. He's very intuitive. And we feel like he's also sensing. He's been very into babies.
Yeah.
We just had a new baby in the family, and he's all about seeing pictures of her. She's so cute every time he sees a baby. Yeah. So we feel like he's also, in a way, his soul is getting ready.
Yeah. Like, look at her little head.
I know.
It's so cute.
He's so cute. She's so cute. He said they're all so
Everybody's cute.
But yeah, I mean, we believe in the angel numbers and the signs from our guides and like our ancestors, right? And our family members who have passed, and just really feel like they're trying to tell us that we're on the right path. Yeah. So listen, this was a lot. but it was super cool.
Yes.
And
it
like,
was awesome.
You know, if you're maybe interested in a fertility focused reading or you want to explore your chart with me, the link to book is in the show notes. You know, we can talk about this. We can talk about your natal chart. There's so many routes we can take. Maybe I'll do mini readings, whatever it is, right? But I'm really starting to like open up and expand and explore. And like Lisa said, kind of get really good at this stuff.
You're so quick.
Thank you.
You're so quick, and Michelle can relate it to anything that's happening in your life.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I did a reading the other day for a person I didn't know. And she told me her like goal for the next year of her life. And then her entire reading, I didn't know her goal. Her entire reading was about her goal.
That's wild.
It was wild.
That's so cool.
We are so glad you joined us for this conversation. Whether you're trying to conceive or just curious, we hope you feel a little more grounded in your own timing. We're sending you so much love wherever you're at in your journey.
This podcast is part of the bigger dream that we're building, and having you here makes it even more special.
And next week, we're talking to someone who's created a community for people in the thick of this journey, so you never have to feel alone.
You won't want to miss it.
Follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if this feels like home, which we really hope it does, leave us a review and share it with a friend.
And let us know what you want us to dive into next. We're not building this alone. We're building this with you. Bye.
The Cast Compass Podcast. New episodes every week.
Follow, rate, and share with someone who needs a little direction.